All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to break down a really critical threat to enterprise security, something that's escalating faster and faster: secrets sprawl. Now, for those of you on the front lines, in security operations, in management, this isn't just some buzzword. It's a huge, everyday threat to your organization's integrity.
So let's kick things off with a number that, well, it should make you sit up and take notice. 70%. What's that? Of all the valid secrets found floating around in public code repositories way back in 2022, 70% of them are still active today. And here's the kicker. This isn't some old problem that just faded away. It's a persistent, wide-open door into our networks.
And this really gets to the core of what we call secret sprawl. The easiest way to think about it is like leaving your house keys under doormats, except these doormats are scattered all across your entire digital world, from source code to Slack channels. And as you're about to see, this problem is definitely growing, not shrinking. As a matter of fact, the total number of exposed secrets has surged by a staggering 25% in just the last year. And listen, this isn't a fluke. It's not a one-off. It's a trend that's picking up speed. It feels like for every step we take forward in security, the sprawl of credentials is yanking us 2 steps back. So, okay, the problem's big, but where is all this stuff actually leaking from? Understanding the scale and the location of the problem is, well, it's everything. And the answer might not be what you think. You know, public code repositories get all the headlines, but check this out. A massive 35% of all private repos, yeah, the ones we think of as safe, have at least one hard-coded secret inside. This happens because of a false sense of security, or maybe just because it's the fastest way for a developer on a deadline to get something working. Either way, it creates this huge, often invisible, internal attack surface. Now, here's what's really wild about all this. We're not talking about some super sophisticated zero-day exploit here. Nope. The report is crystal clear. Most breaches happen because of simple, long-lived credentials just sitting there in plain text. It's the absolute lowest hanging fruit for attackers, and it is everywhere. So how does this actually play out? How does one little, seemingly minor leak spiral into a full-blown crisis? Let's walk through the anatomy of a breach, because the path from exposure to exploitation is just dangerously fast. The truth is, secrets are just bleeding out everywhere developers work. And it's usually not malicious, right? It's a byproduct of speed and convenience. Credentials get left in config files, they get pasted into Jira tickets, or dropped in a Slack channel for a quick fix. And all of that creates this enormous, decentralized risk. And if you want a real-world horror story, look no further than this: a breach of the U.S. Treasury Department. It all started with just one single compromised API key from a third-party vendor. That's it. One key was all it took for attackers to get in. This really shines a spotlight on a critical weak point: our software supply chain. Okay, so just look at this timeline. It's pretty sobering. Attackers start exploiting a leak within hours. After 5 days, 90% of those exposed secrets are still valid. And yet for us, the defenders, it takes, on average, 292 days to even find and fix the problem. The gap there is it's massive. Now, I know that was a lot of bad news, but here's the good news. This is, fundamentally, a solved problem. We have established authoritative best practices to get us out of the state of alarm and into a state of action and, well, control. So this is the goal, right? We want to move from this total chaos of sprawl that you see on the left, to the clean, structured, defensible order you see on the right. And getting there, it takes a deliberate, programmatic approach that's guided by standards that we know work. And the best part is, we don't have to invent this stuff from scratch. Not at all. We've got these authoritative frameworks from bodies like the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, plus implementation guides from places like Monash University. Together, they give us a proven, enterprise-grade roadmap to shut down these risks. So what does that roadmap actually look like in practice? Well, it's built on 3 core pillars from the NIST cybersecurity framework: identify, protect, and detect. Let's break those down and see what the minimum requirements are for each one. First up, identify. Simple, right? You can't protect what you don't know you have. This means you got to establish clear governance, who owns this risk, and then maintain a complete, always up-to-date inventory of every single secret, who owns it, and what systems it touches. Next, we protect. This is where you build your walls. It means enforcing strong, multi-factor authentication for any access to your secrets management systems. No excuses. It means encrypting secrets everywhere, at rest and in transit. And so critically, it means enforcing secure configurations that just ban hard-coded credentials from your code base. And finally, we detect. Look, you have to work with the assumption that someone might get through, so you have to be ready. This takes centralized logging, actively monitoring those logs for threat hunting, and here's a crucial detail people often miss, making absolutely sure your logs themselves don't become a new source of secret leaks. Now, a huge part of that governance piece is just figuring out who's supposed to do what. That's where a RACI matrix like this comes in, and honestly, it's a game changer. It makes it crystal clear who is responsible, who's accountable, who needs to be consulted, and who just needs to be informed for every key task. This kind of clarity is what stops critical security duties from just falling through the cracks. All right, so let's bring this all home. What's the bottom line here? What's the real takeaway? Building true resilience against secret sprawl really starts with making it a top-tier priority, and that has to be backed up by a few non-negotiable actions. Here they are, your marching orders, if you will. Number 1, centralize your secrets in an approved management solution. 2, automate the entire lifecycle. That's creation, rotation, and expiration. 3, separate secrets from your application data. And 4, enforce regular policy-driven rotation. These 4 actions are the absolute bedrock of a modern program. And that leaves us with one final and I think pretty important question to take back to your teams. In a world where threats are just accelerating, is your secrets management program built to handle the risks of yesterday, or is it truly prepared for the reality of tomorrow?